Here's your wrestling news for February 7th, 2026. Your headlines for today include WWE changed Royal Rumble title match finish at the last minute, the real story behind Ava's WWE exit finally revealed, WWE superstar originally planned to win the Royal Rumble revealed, another WWE superstar confirms departure, MJF says AEW doesn't silence its crowd, major botch during Rhea Ripley title match goes unaddressed, real reason Tiffany Stratton advanced to Elimination Chamber, subtle clue points to triple threat showdown at Mania, Rumble winner Liv Morgan teases bold next move, and more. Royal Rumble in Riyadh turned into another milestone night for Drew McIntyre. The undisputed WWE champion successfully defended his title against Sami Zayn, pushing his career record over the Canadian to a dominant 12-0. On the surface, it looked like a decisive chapter closed. Behind the scenes, however, the finish wasn't locked in until the final hours. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the outcome of the match remained under discussion right up until the day of the event. Zayn reportedly pushed hard for the victory, hoping to finally capture his first world championship and complete the long-running underdog narrative that has followed him for years. Meltzer noted that while the idea had support creatively, Paul Triple H Levesque ultimately chose to keep the title on McIntyre. As for Zayn, this marks yet another heartbreaking near miss. He has openly spoken on WWE programming about becoming a world champion, but once again fell short on the big stage. That said, Elimination Chamber in Chicago could still offer him another path back to the title picture, but that may not be the right approach. More on that a little later. Long-term, WWE may simply be delaying the payoff. Some have floated the idea of a full circle moment at WrestleMania 43 in Riyadh, where Zayn could finally overcome McIntyre on the same soil where he suffered defeat. For now, though, Drew McIntyre remains firmly on top, and Sami Zayn's chase continues. Ava's sudden exit from WWE raised plenty of eyebrows, but a new report suggests the reasoning may have been more financial than creative. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez revealed that one of the primary reasons Ava chose not to renew her WWE contract was related to compensation. According to Alvarez, she had been earning the same salary for some time and was not offered what she considered a meaningful raise. I heard about Ava, and what I was told is that one of the big reasons she did not renew her contract was very similar to what happened with Jasmine Nix. She was making a certain amount of money, she had been there for a long time, and they weren't offering her a big raise. She didn't want to keep doing it for the money she was making. This has happened in NXT with people. Alvarez added that this isn't an isolated situation, noting that several NXT talents have quietly moved on under similar circumstances. That report contrasts with earlier coverage from Fightful, which indicated that Ava simply did not want to continue performing as an on-screen NXT general manager or wrestler. Fightful also noted that WWE did not pressure her to leave and that the decision came entirely from her side. With two different explanations now circulating, one centered on financial stagnation, the other on personal choice, the full picture may include elements of both. What is clear is that Ava made the decision herself and WWE did not release her. Whether this marks the end of her wrestling journey or just a pause remains to be seen, but if Alvarez's report is accurate, compensation played a significant role in her walking away. Do you think WWE could be offering stronger raises to developing NXT talent, or was this simply a case of someone deciding it was time to move on? Braun Breaker's WrestleMania 42 coronation was reportedly locked in until WWE hit the reset button. According to Dave Meltzer in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer wrote, "The injury to Rollins caused changes as they went with Punk as champion with the idea of a three-step program with Braun Breaker getting a title match on the Raw Netflix anniversary show and losing, coming back and winning the Royal Rumble, and then facing and beating Punk for the title at Mania." The long-term arc was clear. Breaker would lose to Punk on Raw's Netflix debut, rebound in dominant fashion by winning the Royal Rumble, and then cement himself as the next top star by dethroning Punk on WWE's biggest stage. WWE has a history of adjusting plans when momentum, injuries, or top-tier politics shift the board, but if this report is accurate, Breaker went from being positioned as the next made man to being pushed out of the WrestleMania spotlight altogether. Do you think WWE should have stuck with Braun Breaker's Rumble win and title victory over CM Punk, or was the pivot to McIntyre and the current main event picture the right call? MJF is not backing down from the controversial chants that erupted during this week's Dynamite, and he's making it clear that AEW has no plans to silence its audience. During the February 4th episode of Dynamite in Las Vegas, fans broke out into loud ICE chants directed at U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement just moments before the main event. The politically charged moment quickly made waves online. Appearing on a February 5th interview with Ross Tucker, MJF addressed the situation head-on rather than sidestepping it. "I think what people want more than anything is rest and reprieve from all the horrible stuff that's going on in the world, and I'm glad that's something I get to provide at AEW. He then pointed to the chants as an example of what he believes separates AEW from other promotions. "Another great thing about AEW is that our fans have a voice. I'll give you a literal example. Last night, we were in Vegas, and the crowd started an F-ICE chant. I don't know what side of the political line you fall on. There's no other wrestling promotion that wouldn't censor fans, but we don't do that. We're the listening company. So if fans want to chant that, we're going to let them chant that. I think that's inherently really cool and awesome, and I think that's what makes my company special. We don't censor the fans, and that's nice. It's very nice." The moment gained even more attention when referee Bryce Remsburg appeared to delay ringing the bell, allowing the chant to continue briefly, while production did not cut away or mute the audio. Cameras also caught MJF visibly reacting to the unexpected noise before the match began. AEW has long positioned itself as a more fan-driven alternative in the wrestling landscape, and this situation only adds to that narrative. Still, the debate is already underway online about whether wrestling allowing politically charged chants enhances authenticity or risks distracting from the show itself. Is AEW embracing fan freedom in a way others won't, or should wrestling remain separate from political messaging altogether? Let us know where you stand. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Another departure has been confirmed within WWE's on-screen team. NXT announcer and backstage interviewer Kelly Kincaid has officially announced that she's leaving WWE, with her contract set to expire on February 14th, 2026. Kincaid shared the news directly on Twitter, posting a simple and straightforward message. "As of February 14th, I will no longer be under contract with WWE." Kincaid, whose real name is Kelly Verbal, signed with WWE in February 2022 after previously working on the independent scene under the name Quinn McKay. She initially appeared on NXT Level Up before becoming a familiar face across NXT programming, handling both ring announcing duties and backstage interview segments. During her time with the company, she became a consistent presence on the brand, often conducting key post-match interviews and helping bridge major storyline moments on screen. Kincaid did not reveal the reason behind her exit, however, the timing comes after a significant personal milestone. She and WWE superstar Elton Prince of Pretty Deadly welcomed their daughter in September 2024. While she has largely kept her personal life private, it's possible that family considerations played a role in her decision. As of now, there's no indication of whether Kincaid plans to continue working in professional wrestling elsewhere, return to in-ring competition under her previous persona, or step away from the industry altogether. With her departure now official, it marks another change within WWE's evolving NXT broadcast team. What would you like to see next for Kelly Kincaid? A return to wrestling, another promotion, or a fresh chapter outside the business? Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY teamed up to defend the Women's Tag Team Championships against Kiana James and Giulia in what was positioned as a high-stakes title clash. Both champions were pushed to their limit as they fought to retain the gold. In the end, Ripley and Sky were successful, but the victory came with a noticeable asterisk. Midway through the match, Ripley prepared to deliver a razor's edge to Kiana James, a move she's adopted from her ally Damian Priest. At that moment, Giulia grabbed James's leg from the apron. The referee clearly saw the contact and signaled it as a legal tag. However, neither team appeared to recognize the change, and the action continued as though James remained the legal competitor. James was pinned shortly afterward for a near fall, despite technically no longer being the legal participant. Later in the match, she attempted to tag Giulia again, effectively making the same tag twice, even though the initial one had already been acknowledged by the referee. The confusion continued as Giulia took control of the offense and nearly secured the victory for her team, all while not officially being the legal competitor in the match. The bout ultimately concluded with Ripley and IYO SKY connecting on their combination finishers. Giulia was pinned for the 3 count, but once again, she was not the legal participant at that moment, despite the referee having previously acknowledged the earlier tag situation. The match delivered strong action, but the officiating inconsistencies created a layer of confusion that slightly undercut an otherwise hard-fought title defense. Last night's episode of SmackDown featured a triple threat match to determine the first of 6 entrants in the Women's Elimination Chamber match set to take place on February 28th. Chelsea Green, Lash Legend, and Tiffany Stratton competed for the coveted chamber spot. Each competitor played a distinct role in the match. Legend dominated as the powerhouse heel, Stratton worked as the resilient babyface, and Green floated somewhere in between. The crowd continues to embrace Chelsea, but she remains skilled at shifting their support toward her opponents when needed. In the end, Stratton connected with the prettiest moonsault ever to secure the victory and officially claim the first spot in the Women's Elimination Chamber. Since losing the Women's Championship to Jade Cargill, Stratton had only competed in the 30-woman Royal Rumble match. This win was an important step in rebuilding her momentum as WrestleMania 42 approaches. With this victory, WWE now has the opportunity to position Stratton in a potential main event scenario at the Showcase of the Immortals. She has steadily emerged as one of the top babyfaces on the Blue brand, carrying significant responsibility during her previous championship reign. Her qualification on Friday night suggests that Triple H may be preparing to elevate her once again. WWE Elimination Chamber 2026 is scheduled for February 28th at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. As is tradition, the Women's Chamber match will determine a new challenger for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania 42. Last night's episode of SmackDown kicked off with WWE Champion Drew McIntyre making his cocky entrance, only to be ambushed by the man he unfairly eliminated from the Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes. Rhodes got his shots in before WWE officials separated the two, allowing Drew to make his escape. Cody then grabbed a microphone, referred to himself as Raheem, and delivered a very fiery and explicit promo. Once that was out of the way, Rhodes shifted his focus to how Drew may have sealed his own downfall on the road to WrestleMania 42. Later in the night, GM Nick Aldis informed Cody that his path to WrestleMania includes an Elimination Chamber qualifying match next week. However, Aldis warned him to control his emotions or plans could change. Rhodes agreed to cool off by leaving the building, and that appeared to settle the situation. Do you think Cody Rhodes will back up his bold words by winning the Men's Elimination Chamber match on February 28th, assuming he qualifies next week? Let us know in the comments below. After failing to deliver his promo earlier in the night, McIntyre returned to the ring for a second attempt. Before he could say a word, Jacob Fatu blindsided him. Fatu dropped the Scottish psychopath with a massive suicide dive and then took out several security guards who tried to intervene. The altercation was much shorter than the earlier Rhodes-McIntyre confrontation and didn't lead to a promo from Fatu, but it was intense and effective. The champion should be a target for everyone on the roster, and WWE has done a solid job establishing McIntyre as a man surrounded by enemies, something that could very well lead to a triple threat match at WrestleMania this year for the title. Liv Morgan is the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble winner, finally breaking the runner-up curse that seemed to follow her in recent years. On SmackDown, she began teasing what her road to WrestleMania 42 could look like. Morgan appeared alongside Raquel Rodriguez to address her immediate future. As the Royal Rumble winner, she is currently the only woman guaranteed a championship opportunity at WrestleMania 42. However, her victory came at Rodriguez's expense, as Liv eliminated her in a surprise moment during the match. Naturally, that raised questions about possible tension between the two. Rodriguez, however, made it clear that there were no hard feelings and attempted to shut down any speculation. The pair tried to address the elephant in the room, but WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill interrupted. Morgan, notably the first woman to pin Cargill in her career, showed no hesitation in firing back. She warned Jade to be careful with her words and floated an unexpected possibility: she could choose to challenge Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer at WrestleMania. That decision, in theory, would open the door for Rodriguez to pursue Cargill and the WWE Women's Championship. It was a surprising direction to tease, but an intriguing one. In that scenario, both Morgan and Rodriguez could potentially walk out of WrestleMania 42 as world champions. The situation escalated when Jordynne Grace interrupted, leading Nick Aldis to book a tag team match later in the night. Heated rivals Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace were forced to team up against Morgan and Rodriguez. The match featured multiple miscommunications, with both teams accidentally striking their own partners, including a moment where Raquel inadvertently hit Liv with a big boot. Grace capitalized on the chaos, rolling up Rodriguez to secure the win for her team. Backstage, tensions between Cargill and Grace boiled over into a heated argument until Aldis stepped in. He reminded Jade that WrestleMania can wait. First, she must defend her title against Grace on the February 13th episode of SmackDown on Sci-Fi. That upcoming match carries added significance. It'll mark Cargill's first televised title defense since winning the championship on November 1st. She currently sits at 98 days as champion, meaning her reign will surpass the 100-day mark by the time she defends the title next week. Until now, her only defenses have taken place at live events against Michin, B-Fab, and Bayley. The question now is whether the long wait will pay off when Cargill defends the WWE Women's Championship against Grace next week on Sci-Fi. Will Jade Cargill retain, or are we about to see a major shakeup in the women's title picture? Let me know in the comments below. In other matches on the night, Obafemi defeated Kit Wilson, Tama Tonga picked up a win over Shinsuke Nakamura, and Randy Orton overcame Aleister Black and Solo Sikoa to secure a spot in his 10th Elimination Chamber match. Carmelo Hayes also scored a victory over The Miz. Due to the volume of news we have today, we're unable to provide a detailed SmackDown review. That said, how did you like this week's SmackDown? Which segment stood out to you the most, and why? Sound off in the comments below. For all of our subscribers, don't miss the 9 a.m. Eastern video we dropped earlier today. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.